Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going deep into a narrative that's, well, it's profoundly disturbing. It gives us this rare look inside a complex police investigation, but also into the psychology of a serial killer.
Yeah, the source material we have is incredibly detailed. It covers these awful crimes, but also the people trying to solve them.
And we're going to start with something that just grabs you immediately. It's a line from the killer himself, Colm Pierce. Picture this. He's got a woman tied up, soot on her face, and he leans in and says, "It's important to me that you go to your grave knowing who it was that sent you there." I mean, demanding that kind of recognition in someone's final moments. What does that tell you about the kind of control he needed?
Well, that's right at the heart of it, isn't it? It sets this incredibly chilling tone. It's not just violence, it's deeply narcissistic. He needs to be known to be the author of this terror right to the very end. It's about absolute control over their final thought. And that's kind of our mission today, right? To unpack all these intricate details. We'll go from the first, horrific discoveries right through to the motivations of everyone involved, the killer, the cops.
We'll look at how past trauma plays a role, how technology gets used for crime and detection. Really trying to understand what it means to chase down someone like this.
Exactly. It's more than just a crime story, you'll find. It really explores the extremes of human nature, the darkest parts, but also, the resilience.
So prepare yourself. You're going to get a real inside look at how these incredibly complex cases get put together, piece by chilling piece. Okay, so with that pronouncement hanging in the air, let's go to the very beginning, the first discovery.
Right. So the first victim is Deirdre McCabe, a housewife, a mother, and she's found, well, the description is gutted like a fish, totally boneless, head, hands, feet, all missing.
Just awful.
And this boneless state, it's not just, a byproduct. It's deliberate. It's his signature. It feels like he's trying to erase her identity symbolically.
And the guy leading this investigation is Lieutenant John Driscoll, NYPD Homicide, seasoned investigator. But this case, it hits him hard, really personally.
Yeah, because of his own tragedy.
Exactly. 6 years before, his daughter Nicole died in a car crash. His wife, Colette, she was in the same accident and ended up in a permanent coma. So this crime, this victim being boneless, the source says he felt like his own soul had been stolen. It's this parallel.
You see his routine, too. Visiting Nicole's grave, playing this music box, and then maintaining Colette's ICU setup at home, all that machinery, the pulse oximeter, the ventilator. It's a constant presence of his loss.
So immediately the big question for the team is, why the bones? Why take them?
Right. There's some early talk, maybe voodoo, ritual sacrifice, the usual kind of speculation when something is this bizarre.
But Driscoll's not buying it.
No, his gut tells him it's deeper, more personal. He says something like, the key is in understanding what the bones mean to him. He's already thinking psychology, maybe obsession, like a collector rather than just ritual.
Okay, so while they're trying to figure this out, this really unsettling pattern, it starts to emerge. More victims.
Yeah, the second victim is Monique Beauford. She's only 19. Her remains are found nailed to a boardwalk.
Nailed to the boardwalk.
But the clue here is, well, it's incredibly disturbing. A jogger's dog finds a freshly torn human breast with a tiny gold ring in it.
Oh my God.
Bizarre, right. But that ring, it leads them to a body piercer called Jack the Ripster.
Okay.
And he confirms, Monique, she was into pain, had the ring put in with no anesthetic. They checked, no traces of Novocaine or anything.
Wow. Okay, victim 3.
Amelia Stockard. She's described as a tea heiress, and she was pregnant. Her dismembered remains, including the fetus, are found in a trash bag at the Canarsie sanitation dump.
How did they even identify her?
A Saks Fifth Avenue card found with the fetus, believe it or not. And here's a detail that becomes important later. She used to date a sanitation commissioner from Hoboken.
The dump location. Seems intentional then.
Exactly. It points to this pattern, this weirdly specific connection the killer seems to have with these places. It's not random.
And this pattern just keeps going. Victim 4, Sarah Benjamin. She was a violin teacher, single mom.
The key detail with her is a tattoo on her arm. Lest we forget her memory, 104-1944.
Sergeant Margaret Aligante. She's another investigator on Driscoll's team.
Right. She digs into that. Traces it to Sarah's grandmother, Florence Tishman. Died in Auschwitz, October 4th, 1944.
And Sarah's body, found under the Brooklyn Bridge.
Which we find out later was exactly where she had her first date. Again, that connection.
Chilling. And the 5th victim, Clarissa Parsons. She's the DA's daughter.
Yeah, her situation is a bit different initially. She gets hit by a car, apparently fleeing an attack, but then her body is taken from the morgue, or wherever it was, and desecrated later in a mausoleum.
How did the killer even encounter her?
It seems like it was this mall encounter. He was disguised, working as a cashier at a candy store. Sweet delights. Yeah. Clarissa and her friend were there. She mentioned being stood up for a date, and this guy Pierce gives them these prizes, some fruit drops. It just shows how calculated he is. Predatory, but using charm, this subtle manipulation, not just brute force.
So this guy, Colm Pierce, who is he? The investigation starts digging into his background.
Right, and it's full of contradictions. His birth name was Colm O'Dwyer. He was adopted by the Pierces, who were very wealthy. Spoiled him, apparently.
And he's educated.
Highly. He's actually Dr. Colm F. Pierce, a radiologist.
A radiologist. That's unbelievable. Given what he does, how does someone like that?
Well, you look at his childhood, and it's more than just disturbing. It's like a blueprint for horror. His adoptive father was into taxidermy.
Okay.
But not just, stuffing animals. It was grotesque. Skinning birds, snipping legs up with special scissors, using a boning knife on the heads, reaming holes with wire cutters, even plucking out eyes with a melon scoop. He kept jars of artificial eyes.
My God. It's like he was learning the techniques.
It really seems that way, a kind of perverse apprenticeship. And then there's the story about his sister, Becky.
Oh, yeah.
The father apparently plucked out her eyes, smothered her with a chemical-soaked rag. She died later from cold and fever. Just brutal. He apparently tried desperately to protect her body afterwards from predators. The source even mentions a specific type of vulture, a lammergeier.
What's significant about that?
They are known for dropping bones from heights to crack them open for the marrow. It's this really chilling foreshadowing of Colm's own bone obsession.
Wow.
And get this, he ends up cremating Becky's bones himself in the cellar. To save them, he thought. Right. He also had this fascination with fire, set the family home ablaze at one point.
So this led to
commitment to a place called Wellmore, a psychiatric facility for kids. He was catatonic when he first got there. You can see the roots of his pathology forming right there. Deep trauma, twisted lessons.
And on top of all this psychological horror, there's this ritualistic element. You mentioned a prayer.
Yeah, a witness, some vagrant, heard the killer chanting in Old Irish, Don Grian Igus, Don Gilak Igus, do na real toga.
Which means?
To the sun and the moon and the stars. And it's not just random, it's identified as a ceremonial chant from 5th century Druidic practices, stuff associated with sacrifices, even infants sometimes.
So he saw himself as some kind of ancient priest or warrior.
Kind of. It points to this idea of an archaic war rite. He sees the women as quarry, their bones as hostages, for his own intimate museum. It's this bizarre mix of ancient ritual and modern-day serial killing.
And he preserved the bones.
Meticulously. Dehydrated them in a kiln, like for pottery,
yeah,
to make them survive the insult of time, as the source puts it. He even signs off a message later as Lee's doing.
Medicine man.
Yeah, it all feeds into this warped self-image.
It's terrifying. But the story isn't just about him. We get these deep dives into the investigators, too. Driscoll dealing with all that grief and guilt.
Oh, absolutely. That Irish Catholic guilt is mentioned specifically. He's torn between his loyalty to Colette, his comatose wife, and these growing feelings he has for Sergeant Aligante, for Margaret.
He talked to people about it.
Yeah, his therapist, Dr. Fahey, and his priest, Father McMahon. He's really wrestling with it, the vows, what's right. The priest gives him some interesting advice, like Christ had 12 apostles, not just one, and tells him to talk to his best friend.
And eventually he decides.
He makes that really tough call to move Colette to a nursing home. It's described as heart-wrenching, but it allows him to still be loyal, visit her, be there for her in a way she'd understand, but also maybe allows himself a path forward.
And Margaret Aligante, she's quite a character herself.
Definitely. She's got this tough Brooklyn girl background from Red Hook, even ran with the street gang when she was younger.
Oh, she's smart.
Extremely. Top grades at John Jay College. Studied criminal behavior, forensic psychology, profiling, martial arts, too. She's got the street smarts and the book smarts.
But she has her own baggage, too, right?
Yeah, a very traumatic childhood. Sexual abuse by her father. He later killed himself with his service revolver when she was 17.
God.
So the source mentions she has this anxiety disorder, this kind of push-pull with men, attraction and distrust. It adds this layer to her interactions, her toughness. It makes her very protective professionally and personally. Her directness is key to the case.
And then there's Detective Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Cedric Tomlinson. His story is about redemption, really.
Yeah, he has a history with alcoholism.
Oh.
It led to a tragic incident where his partner died in a shootout. Tomlinson got a medal, the Combat Cross, but also this reputation, the cop who never pulled his gun.
Ouch.
Big time. But Driscoll steps in, doesn't give up on him, sends him to rehab, the farm.
And he comes back.
He does. He's back on the task force, reliable. He's handling the tip line, the tech side of things. It's a powerful arc showing recovery is possible, that he can still be a valuable part of the team.
So we have the killer's background, the investigator's struggles. And then the case takes this sharp turn into the digital world.
Right. Enter Moira Tiernan. She's only 14, but she's this computer whiz kid. Her dad's a Celtic studies professor, fittingly enough.
And she's
deeply
involved. She's called the cyber mole, illegally hacking into police files, victims' computers. She's brilliant, but reckless. It's that double-edged sword, you know, amazing information gathering, but zero caution.
And she makes a huge discovery.
Massive. She figures out the killer's online persona. Godsend. He was using online ads. Remember those old personal ads?
Yeah.
Like that, but online. Women of Gotham want to rekindle your first love. He lures them in with this promise.
Oh, that's how we found them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. He kills them and then dumps their bodies at the location of that specific first date they told him about.
So Deirdre McCabe at the Swan Boat House.
Right. Monique Buford under the boardwalk. Amelia Stockard at the sanitation dump she knew through her ex. Sarah Benjamin under the Brooklyn Bridge. Moira connects all the dots through their emails, their online accounts like AOL, Netscape, Juno. He was using their own memories, their vulnerabilities against them, stalking them digitally with their photos, their stories.
It's incredibly perverse. Using technology to exploit intimacy, a truly modern kind of evil.
But Moira, she doesn't stop there, does she?
No, that's where it goes wrong. She starts communicating directly with Godsend online, uses an alias, Catherine Palmer, exchanges messages, photos. She even kind of taunts him, reveals she knows things like about Monique on the boardwalk. Nailing the bitch to the boardwalk was a coup, she writes.
He's playing with fire.
Totally. And then she tries to meet him, to collar him herself at a Toys R Us near a mall, directly against Driscoll's orders.
That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
And it was. The consequences are horrific, she's found. Brutalized. In a decoy police car, no less. Nailed to a pine chair, her bones pulverized, eyelids glued shut with crazy glue, mouth taped with clumbing tape.
Oh, God. Did he kill her?
No! And that's the point. He leaves her alive, a cripple for life, the source says. It's a deliberate message sent straight to Driscoll. Back off.
And Driscoll must have felt responsible.
Utterly consumed by guilt, it just raises the stakes immensely. It's personal now for everyone.
So this leads us towards the end game, the climax. Margaret steps up here, right?
Yeah, she goes undercover, starts dating Colm Pierce. It's incredibly risky.
What does she observe?
His place is, well, creepy. Suits of armor on the walls, a collection of bird skeletons, including that lammer guy, the bone-eating vulture. Red flags everywhere.
Does he reveal anything?
He does. He casually admits to scuttling a town bulldozer with maple syrup, just pours it in the engine.
Maple syrup.
Yeah. And it clicks for Margaret because Driscoll had investigated that exact incident years ago. Pierce had even been arrested for it, destruction of property.
So she starts thinking.
She's thinking, am I dining with a charmer or with the devil himself? She even pushes him a bit, asks how he knew where Sarah Benjamin's body was found. The suspicion is hardening.
And Driscoll puts the pieces together.
Right. Margaret's intel, his own digging. The bulldozer thing connects. Then they get confirmation from another source, this character, Paradox. A transvestite who had also been targeted by Godsend online, but got basically rejected by Pierce. Paradox IDs Pierce from a mugshot. That's the final piece.
So Driscoll knows.
Yeah.
Pierce is the bone thief, and Margaret is alone with him.
Exactly. Pure terror. He realizes she's in imminent danger.
What happens next?
It's a frantic chase. They figure out Pierce is heading to his sailboat, the Ark, moored out in Port Washington.
On the boat.
Yeah. Pierce goes down to the bilge, starts ripping out the gas line to sink the boat, scuttle it. Margaret's suspicious. She's in the lavatory. Driscoll arrives via helicopter just as things explode.
There's a confrontation.
Oh, yeah. Pierce attacks Margaret with a scalpel, a Bard Parker scalpel. He's chanting that old Irish prayer again.
She fights back.
She does. She's wounded, but she manages to get her gun. Fires. Hits him.
And Pierce?
He just sinks slowly into the murk, is how it's described. It's over.
Wow. Just wow. So the aftermath. The city must be relieved.
Oh, yeah. Headline screaming, "Serial killer annihilated." Celebration time for New York. But for Driscoll, it's more complicated, right? Bittersweet.
He makes that decision about Colette then.
Yes. He finally moves her to the Mary Star of the Sea nursing home. It allows him, finally, to think about his own future. There's this poignant scene where he visits her, holds her hand, and tells her about his feelings for Margaret. It's this moment of personal peace, almost, after all the horror.
This whole case, the trauma, the tech, the personal cost,
Yeah.
must have changed them all.
Absolutely. Driscoll, Margaret, Tomlinson, they've been through the ringer, faced something truly monstrous. It reshapes your understanding of crime, of resilience, of yourself, you know?
So Driscoll closes the case. He's made peace with his past, maybe sees a future.
Right. He's finally allowing himself that moment. Maybe a sense of closure.
And then the phone rings.
Yeah.
It's Tomlinson.
Yeah.
An hour ago, they found 2 dead bodies in Brooklyn. Looks like we have another crazy on our hands.
Ugh. Just like that. Just like that. A battle is won, but the war, it never really ends, does it? It leaves you with that thought the darkness is always out there. The deep dive continues, whether you want it to or not.